So good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our first talk, Friday talk. Now we have 5 people who has joined. So we will wait maybe for some more minutes and then we will start. So I think a few more minutes and then I will begin with small introduction and then we will start our meeting. So good morning or good afternoon for many people from other time zones. So welcome to our first Friday talk. This is our, I would say, premiere, and so we have altogether around 15 participants now. So thank you very much for joining us at the first meeting and the first talk. So I first introduce myself and then I will introduce our guest. So I'm Rostislav Budrik. I am Chief of Products at Ecosoft. My background, I'm a chemical engineer in water treatment with 15-year experience in the area. Today, our guest is Daniel Viladomiu, Head of International Sales at Ecosoft, with 20 years experience in the industry. And our topic for today is Ecosoft reverse osmosis domestic filters. In particular, we will talk about the product range that we call P'ure line. And our agenda for today consists of, I would say, 3 short parts. So first, I would show the product line briefly, and then we will have a nice discussion with Daniel on his experience in this product and his experience both in production and sales, in sales to businesses. Also, you are welcome to ask questions. So you may write questions in the chat of this meeting, and we will when we will have the discussion, we will also pick up your questions and answer them. If you have any other comments, please go ahead, use chat, and take part in our meeting. So I will now share the presentation. I believe you can hear me well. If someone can write something, if it's okay with the sound, with the screen, I would much appreciate your comments. So we may start. Push it. All clear. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So we will start with I will show first the product line. I will show the product line. So these are the filters we produce. Our first Ecosoft started production of domestic RO filters in 2005. So it's a little less than 20 years of production. So today our product line for international markets is now on the slide. So our core product are the filters that we call P'ure line. And we have 3 products in the range. So we have P'ure Aquacalcium, P'ure Alkafuse, and we have P'ure Balance. We differentiate them not only in colors, but also with the type of water they produce. So the Aquacalcium is the first unit that has appeared in 2013. So almost 10 years on the market, and it provides delicious water with calcium. Then the next one was the P'ure Balance. It provides water that has, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, even a better taste than has the water from Aquacalcium. It's not only delicious, but also healthy. It has calcium and magnesium in the water. And also we have the Alkafuse, this is the most recent one, is the water with high alkalinity and high pH. And here we have a small description of what we have inside. So it's more or less classic structure of the prefiltration. With the only difference that the Alkafuse and the Balance filters, they actually saves water because they have the ratio between pure water and water to drain 1:1. Also, we are going to integrate. We also are going to integrate this feature in the Aquacalcium shortly. So you may see here how the prefiltration looks like. I would not cover this in details because I believe you know all of this. Then we have the membrane, 75 GPD membranes, and the unique mineralizing cartridge, actually that provides calcium or calcium and magnesium mineralization, or it provides water high pH. And here we give the comparison to our standard unit. It's a traditional RO filter, 5-stage or 6-stage filtration that has the same more or less prefiltration except water savings. So this unit does not save water. It has the traditional relation between pure water and water to drain. So the capacity, the recovery is around 15%. So here on this slide, we explain what is the difference in the water composition on the filtered water composition. So we have different TDS. So a standard RO water has a TDS of around 20 to 30 ppm. It depends on the water temperature. It depends on the inlet quality. Then the Aquacalcium provides the water with higher TDS, around 50. And then we have 60 to 100 with the Alkafuse. So it's a quite wide range. And we have around 70 for P'ure Balance. And you may see the composition of the water. You may see what is the content of the magnesium in the water. So P'ure Balance and Eco has magnesium in the water, which provides a very nice taste of the water. We will talk a little bit more on the taste today. And all of them, except Standard, has quite a high amount of calcium. And the pH. Yeah, the pH is, here we have more or less standard pH, a little elevated pH, a little higher for the calcium, and up to 11 we may go with Alkafuse one. How do we achieve this? So we use another scheme for mineralization. So I would explain how the mineralization is arranged in the traditional filter. So we have the membrane, and then the water goes to the tank. And when you open the faucet, the water from the faucet goes through the mineralization stage with a flow rate of 2 liters per minute, sometimes more, and then you get mineralized water in your faucet. With the P'ure line, the mineralization is made in another way. So the water after the membrane goes slowly through the mineralization cartridge with a flow rate that equals the capacity of the membrane, and it's 0.2 liters per minute, so it's quite a low flow. And then we have already mineralized water in the tank. And when you open the faucet, you get the water passes through the carbon filter, and you get mineralized water in your faucet. So both a different composition of the mineralizing cartridge and different flow rate provides us a different result, a better result in the mineralization. So the complete product line looks like this. So here on the top, we have 4 models, not pumped. This is what I have shown on the slide before. And also we have all the models are available as a pumped version. So for applications with low pressure, low inlet pressure, and also for the applications where you have a water tank on the roof. In many southern countries, this is the way of water supply. Normally you have a pressure around 1 bar, even less. So in these cases, the models with pumps are applied. And this is the way we actually sell, and this is the way we explain the difference in the water. So these are photos made in Ukraine in Ecosoft stores, and we give people a chance to try water before they buy filters. So normally we have an installation of 2 or 3 filters with different quality. They are connected to the water, and you or customers, our customers may select a filter not only on the technical parameters, not only on the appearance and price, but also they can select it based on the taste of the water. They can drink, and then they can evaluate what they prefer, what do they like more. In addition to the water filters, we also provide a full range of replacement. So every module has its special pack of cartridges. It's also differentiated by color. So we have actually 2 types of sets. So we have a year set, where you come once a year and replace all cartridges, including the membrane. And you have everything packed in one nice box. Or you can have a pack for 6 months. Does not include the membrane, but it's also tightened to the product with the design. So this is the way we sell filters in Ukraine, and also this is the way how we started sales of replacement filters also in the European market, in European countries last year. Also here I put the image of the perfect layout or perfect shop. So this is the way we sell filters in Ecosoft stores. So when the customer comes, he can see all range of products in one place and select the one he or she likes. And I think this is basically all I wanted to cover now. Maybe we will come back to this presentation during discussion. Now I will stop the presentation and we can discuss a little bit with Daniel the questions, and we would start the discussion not with the technical questions, but with the taste questions. When we started production of filters which provides a better taste, actually we make a survey with the end users, and I was one of the interviewers, and I was talking to a man, and he was already using reverse osmosis filter for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, and we talked how he bought it, what was the price, how he replaced the cartridges, or who would do this. And then I asked him, what do you use the water for? And he has started to mention that he's using it for sure, first of all, for tea, for coffee, to make soup, to cook. And he was talking, and then he didn't say that he drink this water. And then finally I asked him, what do you drink? Do you drink this water? And he says, no, I don't drink this water. I drink bottled water. I said, wait, how come? You have a filter, you use it for 2 years, but you don't drink it? He said, yes, I have 2 bottles of mineral water in my fridge always, and I drink bottled water, not RO water. And I asked why, and he explained that he doesn't like the taste of RO water because the fresh is not very good, and he preferred to drink water from the bottle. And then we understood that there are people who are buying not a filter for a water, but they are buying water filter to have a tasty water. So the first question to Daniel, what do you think about the water taste? Should the water from the filter be delicious, or it should be just water? What is your opinion on this?
Hello, everyone. Just let me say hello, first of all, to everyone. Thanks for joining us and for this invitation, Rusty. I mean, the idea of this is to try to make it a little bit, easier for everybody instead of just doing a training, to make a kind of colloquial thing, trying to talk between 2 professionals and just to explain some anecdotic things like the one you have explained right now, and to share this information with all you, so you can participate whenever you consider through the chat, making questions or just participating in these talks. Yeah, I mean, water, as you say, water should taste well, because otherwise it happens what this beautiful anecdotic thing that you have explained right now. A family installing a reverse osmosis system, but not drinking water from it, and still buying bottled water. Doesn't make any sense. So it is clear that water from the RO system, it should taste well, and people has to use it, I mean, for everything, not only for drinking, but drinking is one of the most important things to do. So yes, it should taste well.
But do you think the water from the traditional RO, does it has a good taste, or is it tasteless?
Actually, normally water coming out from an RO should be not only tasteless, should be also odorless and colorless. And the point is that we have to know for sure what is the reverse osmosis technology doing to the water, which is reducing roughly between 90 and 95%, let's say, the total dissolved minerals that we have at the inlet. This is what it is doing. So it will always, the total amount we have at the outlet will always depend on what we have at the inlet. This is how it is. But after that, which is what is really recommended, is to just remineralize the water and balance it to generate a nice, beautiful taste, to keep the end user happy.
Thank you. Now we have people can't see us. Maybe I will just a moment, a technical thing. Maybe we will remove this screen to share the presentation and to put somehow. Can you maybe press, because I can see me, can you press the gallery gallery on the menu? Or minimize the screen? I have a picture. A moment, a moment. Because I think it would be much better if people would see us, not the black screen. The first.
Of course, Rusty, we are not the most beautiful ones, but it would be better.
Yeah, it would be better to. Okay, I think we will keep on discussion, and my colleague is trying to somehow switch off the black screen, but they will manage to do this. In our experience of RO sales, I will again come back to this to the water quality after the filter. Many end users, they want to add something to the water. So somebody talks about the calcium, I don't know, silica, I don't know, fluoride. What is your experience? What do people, I don't know, in particular in Spain, for example, do they expect to get some kind of minerals, or they just want to, have water with some minerals? Are there any expectation on it and on the particular salts?
This is a very good question, Rusty. Thanks for asking it, because actually there is a lack of information, generally talking, actually not only in Spain, also in Europe, and I believe also worldwide. There is a lack of information about the quality of the water that we should drink. I mean, first, the one that we have on the mains coming from our supplier chain that we have locally, and the one we should. So many people consider that, well, water should really have a lot of minerals in the water and should be like super enriched with minerals, which is something really not necessary. I mean, it is good to have a nice, beautiful, balanced water that really hydrates your body and allows you to drink these 2 to 3 liters per day, which is the healthy amount recommended worldwide. Farther away than that is not really super important to have an extra amount of a lot of minerals, like a special super mineralized bottled water, because actually our body takes the minerals from the food much more than from water. Therefore, when we are having an RO system, what happens? Well, at the outlet of a RO, we have what we have, which is 90-95% less than the inlet. But after we remineralize the water, we have, well, nice, beautiful quantity. We have like the typical low mineralized bottled water that you can buy in any supermarket worldwide, which is something between, let's say, 20 and 80 ppm water, roughly. And I believe that this is the healthy thing. And the key point is that all professional companies, like all of us that we are now here, we should inform one by one every single end user properly about what is the right quality of water to drink and to use at home. That's the key. And this is a job that all of us have to do.
Thank you. You have mentioned the amount of water. This is also endless discussion on how many liters of water do a person consume a day, because there is also a trick, because we live like half a day we live in the office, half a day we live at home. And when a person buys a filter, how do you explain, how many liters would this filter produce? How many liters of bottled water he or she or a family would not buy?
Another good question. Yeah, normally should be between 2 and 3 liters per person, the amount you should drink, right? But at home, as you are not all the day, it's normally consuming around between 1.5 liters per person per day. This is more or less the average after some some interviews to different peoples and some checkings about the amount in a standard family consume. This is the total amount. Plus the amount the amount that you can be using for cooking or for other things that you might be using this RO water. But yeah, maybe we can push a little bit more everyone to start using these reusable metal or crystal bottles to take water from home to their offices or wherever they go every single day, just for them to consume a little bit more of the nice, beautiful, balanced water they have at home. And this is, again, another job we have to do. So yeah, they are saving, depending on more than 1 liter per person per day. So it's a question of
Yeah,
counting.
we always yeah, very curious, and we talk. Sometimes we talk to the guys who deliver bottled water, and we ask them the statistics. So they say, according to their statistics, they supply in when they plan the supply of the water to a family, they take 0.9, yeah, 0.9 liters per day per person. This is the consumption and how they plan this 5-gallon bottles water for home usage. But this is, we can also now calculate what would be the annual consumption of a family. So you say like 1.5 liters of water per person. So if we take a family of 4 people, so they would make 6 liters per day. So if we take the calculator and take 365 multiply by 6, so we have a little more than 2,000 liters of water a family consumes a year. Let's convert this 2,000 liters into euros. If a family buys bottled water in the supermarket, what is the family budget in Europe, in Spain? Let's take Spain, or maybe our guests of the meeting could also write what is the price of the bottled water in their countries. So it would be also nice to understand what is the budget of the family who goes to the supermarket and every week they buy bottled water. How many euros or other they spend.
It depends on the brand of the bottled water that you are choosing, obviously, but it's the average will be around between 0.35 and 0.4 euros per liter, more or less. It depends if you buy 1 liter or if you buy 5 liters bottle. I mean, the bigger, the lower the price per liter you get, obviously. But this is more or less the average. So we're doing this calculation, and this is very important because this is a nice, beautiful argument to sell the product. It's not only the money you are saving, which is great, and this is what we're doing now, but there are other things like the plastics that we're saving. I mean, the efforts of moving this amount of water, which is mainly, probably hurting a little bit your back, moving them up and down, etc. But yeah, I mean, if we do this calculation, how much are we saving them?
Yeah, 2,000 by 0.4 euros. If we take 0.4 euro per liter, so then we will have how many? 800 euros per year. So 800 euros per year you will save, and also what is also important, you will save, you will protect the planet from the bottled water. Yeah, we could also calculate how many grams of water. I seen that Stergios wanted to say something, but the microphones here are disabled, so you can only write, because I saw your raised hand. You can write. You cannot say something. But we would prefer if you would change. We have the price in Ukraine is $0.25 per liter. Okay, while we are waiting for other answers, we can move move forward. Then we could talk about the expenses. So once a family has installed an RO filter, what would be the expenses, a year expenses on the filter? So how much, how often people replace filters? How much would it cost? Let's cover this point.
This is also very important because it is obvious if we do this calculation that it's always super profitable for many reasons, health-wise and environmentally wise, etc., and obviously comfort. It's always super intelligent to buy an RO system for home. That's clear. But of course, it has the maintenance. This has to be done, and it can be done every half a year, every 9 months, or every year. It depends on the model, depends on the country, etc. So the price of the maintenance will depend. In some cases, you can it can be done directly by the end user, just buying the replacements, for instance, in a do-it-yourself shop. And then the price will be really, it again depends a little bit on the country, but it can be between 40, 50 euros to 60 or 70 to buy the replacements of all 5 stages. And then it also depends if you ask for this maintenance to be done to, for instance, a plumber or an installer. Again, depends on the country, but it can be around 70, 80, 90 or 100 or 120 euros maximum. And there are also the professional water treatment companies that they are there or are having, they are just bigger, they are specialized, and they are having nice, beautiful bands with beautiful technicians dressed in a super special way. And then those are charging a little bit more, probably roughly around 200 euros for a nice, beautiful maintenance, everything included.
Nice. What do you think? What is your guess? How many people go to DIY out of 100 end users? How many of them would go to DIY, and how many of them would call to a dealer or a plumber? Just your idea.
I would say that fourth of it, or let's say 20-25% will go to DIY, and then it's 20-25% more that will go to a plumber and installer, the one they really trust since ages, since the very beginning. And then it will be around 15% or even a little bit more that goes to the professional water treatment, which is the place where they bought the system and is the company they trust 100% for the maintenance of such an important thing, so related to health as it is water.
Thank you. Then the next question about the safety. And the first question that appears about the safety is the certification. Europe is known for high certification standards in general. So we have a famous DVGW for pumps, for water, for softeners, and for heat boilers in Germany or in German-speaking countries. And what about the ROs? Are there any obligatory certificates? Are there any recommended certificates? Do end users ask about the certificates? So how does this story looks like in Spain?
Well, there are many things here to talk about because it has been really changing a lot lately, and actually. Historically, Europe has been trying to unify a little bit this law, just to have one for at least all the European community countries. And we have been, I mean, it's been trying really hardly during the last years, but it's been impossible because every single country wants to have their own. So right now there is nothing really mandatory. I mean, no country has an obligation to fulfill any specific law aside from the CE certification, which is something that every single product with electricity needs to have officially by law in every country inside Europe. So regarding water, an end user will never request or ask, at least in 98% of the cases, will never request to have a specific certification because they don't know. And every country has its own. Here in Spain, we have the UNE, and then in France, you have the ACS. Then you have this famous DVGW for in Germany that also applies a little bit in Denmark and Austria. And you have small little ones. There is one also in Italy, etc. And those are not mandatory. It's just a recommendation. So depending on how the big players of the market inform to all these plumbers, installers, and other professional companies, depending on which way they do it, they become more important or not. And there are others which are global, like the NSF or Water Quality Association. These ones are kind of global. And then, well, there are some that are just analyzing inlet water, outlet water, and checking that we are not adding anything strange to the water, that it was not at the entrance. And some others are going a little bit deeper and analyzing every single part of the product in contact with water. And they check that there is no migration of any material of all these pieces to the water.
The water. Yeah, at Ecosoft, we have started the certification projects and certification process for the RO. I think it was in 2014, 2015. So we have completed the NSF 58. And also we have completed the NSF 372. So the 58, and we did it not via NSF, but we did it via WQA. So we have the gold seal certificate according to NSF, according to this NSF standard. So the 58 stands for migration test, structural integrity, and also they measured the effectiveness of removal of TDS and some specific components. And actually, since then, every year they do the check of our production. So actually, they check how we produce, what we buy. And if we change, or sometimes we change the materials, and we are obliged to renew the specifications that we apply to the WQA. And this is the routine. It's already 7 years. We do this annual recertification of the products, and also we add new ones. So every year when we launch a new product, so first we put it in this process so that they are sure that we produce according to their standards. And recently in 2020, we have received the ACS certificate. This is I think it was, for us, it was even more complicated than NSF, because in France, it was a real challenge. It took us a year, because besides the filter and beside the components, they also check all the raw materials. So they checked all the polypropylene we use, all the pigments we use in the production. And now we can also sell in France. We sell in Castorama, in Leroy Merlin, because we have this ACS certificate. So we follow these rules. Yeah, and annual recertification, and I think it's could be a very big advantage for people when they buy a filter that has this gold seal certificate or ACS mark, that it's tested on all kinds of migration tests. So this is important. Could it be an advantage for dealers? Now we can move a little bit from the end user side to the dealer. Do dealers want to know what is the certification about, or they mainly don't go deep in this?
They should, in my opinion, they should, because it's something important that demonstrate that you are producing a product which is perfectly correct. I mean, it is complicated because it's not unified, as I was saying before, and then you have to choose one of these, and if you really want to penetrate deeper in one of these countries, you might go and pass the certification of that specific country. And sometimes it's a little bit kind of nightmare, and kind of a lot of time and money that you are spending really to have every single one for every single country. And this is why Europe was trying to unify it all. But you know, these official laboratories that are the only one who can really put the stamp on the paper officially, it's also a nice, beautiful business. It's also a huge lobby worldwide, and then it's really complicated, not easy, not easy. But it's important. I mean, even though end user will never, or will in 90% of the cases will never request any specific certification. When you as a professional water treatment company decides or takes the decision about which system to offer to all your end users, you really need to take this into consideration. This is something very important to think about it, to be sure about the quality of the product. That's the key.
Oksana, thank you. So we have 19 people online. That is good.
Can you hear me now? I think I was.
No, I was mute. You are okay.
Ah, yourself. Oh, I'm fine.
Mute. So now we can move from the end users questions to the real B2B questions. And my question is about the product range and the pricing, etc. So what is in our product line, for example, in the Ecosoft stores, we sell 3 product lines. So we sell low price, medium price, and high price RO filters. And in our opinion, it works good. What is your opinion on how many product lines should a dealer or a water store has in their hands to have a successful business with the ROs?
Well, this way of qualifying somehow the quality or the level of the product that we do, which are always 3, and it's nice. We can call it good, better, and best. That's a nice, beautiful way that Ecosoft has to divide somehow the products per range. I think it's nice because every single end user will always like to have different options in the sense that if there is like only one option offered, they feel like, there might be some of the things in the market that I should know about. So let me double check in other places. But if you offer them 3 options, at the very beginning, and you inform properly about what are the differences and the real argues about the price difference between all 3, then they really get to, well, they feel like they are taking a nice, beautiful decision, which is to choose which one is the right one for them. And a good buyer needs to take the decision about what they are buying. So give them a little bit the chance to choose.
Because some dealers say to us, if we have a cheap product and an expensive product on the shelf, end user would definitely select the cheap one. And very often they refuse to sell expensive ones. What do you think on this? What advice would you give to a dealer in this case?
This is similar than what happens in the big industry, in the huge industries, where they are really requesting for big quotations for tenders, etc. That with, let's say, more than 100,000 euros. And what happened? They ask to 5 different ones. Normally, they ask for 5 quotations. So the first thing that they do is that the most expensive and the cheapest, they throw them away. And then the 3 in the middle, normally they choose the one in the middle, because it's the one that probably has the best balance in between quality and price. So, and service, of course. So the key point is that the product you really want to sell the most, put it probably in the middle. And that's the best way. This is the one that you will be selling the most. And if you want, I mean, you can always play, putting the one you consider as the best seller one in the middle.
It's a nice perspective. We have one more perspective. If you like the high-end product, and you know what are the benefits of this, I would say, expensive product, and also you have a value for money or a cheap product on the shelf. So this value for money product helps you to generate more traffic to your store, because the majority of people would, first of all, they would look at the end users. They would look on the price, and if you have a product with a low price, they would come to you. And then if you are good enough, then you can explain the difference between good product and the better product or the best product, and then you have a chance to sell one of these 3. But if you don't have a good product, then an end user might skip your store or skip your website. There is a question from Anton. We have statistics from yeah, we have statistics from, they have in Ukraine, the Ecosoft stores, they have 3 product lines. So they have a cheap one, which is standard. Then we have a middle one, and then we have a pure line as a expensive product. According to our statistics, the dealer, they sell the cheap product, they sell like 25 to 30%. So this is the minority of the sales. And then around, I would say 40 to 50%, they sell expensive ones. And the rest, around, I would say 30%, they sell in the middle. So a dealer in Ukraine do their best to sell the expensive product. So that's why they put the water bars in their stores, and they always invite people to the store. So if they have a call or online quotation, so they talk, and they say, come to us, try water, come with your bottle, or let us explain what is the difference. As soon as the person comes to a store and tries water, then people tend to buy a more expensive filter because it provides a better quality of water. If not, then they brew coffee in the shop and say, okay, if you don't differentiate the quality of water, let's try coffee. Let's make coffee with standard RO water and pure and water after RO. And they manage somehow to sell expensive ones because finally, it is not expensive if we compare it to 800 euro that a filter saves a year, because now people mainly buy water, not mainly, but many people buy water in the store in the bottles. So even when we sell an expensive filter, we save money for the end user. Yeah, and also the plastic. Coming back again to the maintenance of the filter. So our experience that when we sell the replacement, sometimes we sell them separately. So we sell the polypropylene cartridges, GAC, then CTO separately. However, we would prefer to sell it as a set, as I have shown in the presentation, because a set is a easier way for everyone to replace the cartridges. And what is your opinion on this? What would you recommend for dealer how to act? Should they sell cartridges separately, or it's better to come to end user with a box and replace the complete set from the box?
I think it's better from the box, actually. I think the packaging is also something important, and we have to unpack the system in front of the end user, and they have to see how we are taking everything out piece by piece, and we assemble, install, and start up the system properly. I think we have to give, as a professional water treatment companies that we are all here today, to give a little bit more importance than what we're doing up to now to this. I mean, this is 100% related to health, and people, actually, health is the most important thing in life. It's something that you cannot really buy with money, and we have to give more importance to that. And to do so, the way to do it is to show that this is the original product produced in the original place with the original brand. And when you go with the replacement, it has to be the same box with the same color, with the same brand, and with the same specific product, if possible. And they have to see how you unpack everything from the box in front of them, and you do the maintenance in a proper way. So the more professional we look like, the more importance we give to a product, which is really important. What we need is we need the end user to feel this importance. And because actually my favorite sentence in the last 20 years is, we are a service company, all of us, all the people listening today here, and we have to give the proper service to every single end user, and to give the importance of what we're doing, because it is.
Thank you. Thank you. Also, then going further, we have 10 minutes left till the end, and I wanted to ask our guests if they have any ideas or recommendations on the topics for the next talks. So if you would like us to cover any specific area, or to go deeper in RO filters or select another one like Ecomix or reverse osmosis for commercial applications. So your suggestions would be highly appreciated if you write them in chat, as well as your questions in regards to this topic. And then the next, I would show the next question. I would not ask, but I will show it. Is about the. Now you cannot see my screen now. I think it's downloading. I will ask Alexei to help me. Just a moment. So the question about that, while it's downloaded, the question about the boxes, as we as a producer of reverse osmosis filters, we do our best to make beautiful boxes to put filters in the beautiful boxes, beautiful inside and beautiful outside. Unfortunately, you cannot see my screen, but just a moment. We will handle these technical issues. Once again. Yeah, now this is the question. So this is the way how we deliver our products. So they have both nice packaging outside and also inside we have a very nice arrangement with every component in the box. However, it increased the price of the complete product. And when sometimes we come to the market and we see that there are products that are delivered in a much more simple products, much more simple boxes. They are more or less good outside, but from the inside, they're quite simple. And sometimes inside the team and with some of our customers, we have endless discussion. What is better? Yeah, well, how does it influence the product? Should it be nicely packed, or should we just have a plain packaging, plain packaging in the plastic bag? So Daniel, can you please share your opinion on that?
Yeah, there are a couple of important things here on the packaging. I mean, the first one is safety, and the second one is hygienic. I mean, these 2 points for me are the most important ones because, I mean, every single end user, well, probably the end user is not really thinking about it at all. But we as a professionals, we have to know, all of us, that when this product is produced in a factory, it's just put in a nice, beautiful packaging. And then once it is packed, it goes to the truck. From the truck, it moves to a big warehouse where we just keep it for some weeks, and then it's going inside another truck, and then it's going to our distributor, and this distributor will be probably sending it directly or just bringing it inside a van to the end user to be installed. So it means that during all these movements, if the packaging is great, it means that it will arrive to the final end user in perfect conditions. And if it is not, in all these small little movements, it can break. So what happened is it's basic to be very well located and not to reach any part of the product broken. First, technically, and secondly, hygienically. I mean, it has to be properly packaged because otherwise, during all these ways, some dust can come in, and we might find some contamination because of all these movements that the product is suffering since it is finished from production lines until it is installed. So it's basic. That's very important. But aside from that, it's an adding value to the product. When the end user see that the product is coming out from a nice, beautiful box, an original one from the manufacturer, that also the replacement kit, it matches perfectly with the color, with the name, etc. This is trustness and confidence, and this is what we all want to give to all our end users to keep growing.
And I think to make it more important for the end user, I think that the dealers or the plumbers should make this unpacking of the product in front of the end user, yeah, and explain it. So in this way, this value, which also influence on the price, will be shown to the end user. Because very often we hear the argument that why do you put so many carton? Nobody values this. It's just a carton. But if you have a nicely packed product, you should show it to the end user, and then you will be also valued as a supplier.
Absolutely agree. All these nice, beautiful videos that we can see nowadays called unboxing, that you can find many on the YouTube. And this, in many cases, it makes the difference between two brands of the same product, just the way they keep unboxing. See how the iPhones are made, and how they get unboxed. It's just somebody's really thinking about how to transport it in a proper way and how to present it. So, and the box has to be open there. From totally new and totally closed, because everything is included inside. It has to be open there in front of the end user. Yeah, let's use it.
Let's jump to the last question about the traditional RO filters. That there are so many basic, I would say, or basic, yeah, let's call it basic, five or six stage filters. For dealer, even for dealers, not only for end user, but especially for dealers, very often it's quite hard to differentiate between one basic RO and other basic RO. Yeah, we as a manufacturer, we always do it shiny with nice tubings, nice arrangement, nice stickers. But what is the value from the dealer point of view? Yeah, if you imagine that you are a dealer, how you would select a basic RO? What you would pay attention to? What is the most important for you?
I mean, it is clear that basically quality is the most important thing for every single one, and this is a priority, and it makes sense. But of course, when you just look at the product in a nice, beautiful look, the first impression that you have when you see a product first time is how it looks like. Then you go deeper, you keep touching it, etc. But the first look is when you get the first impression, and you know that you cannot have a second first impression. And it's very important to have the pipes has to be of the right dimension, the right size, because otherwise when you see that the product is there and it is full of pipes going up and down, moving right and left, some ones are longer, the other ones are shorter, ones are blended in this way, the other ones in the other way around, and then it's like a mess of cables and tubings. So if all these things are not arranged in a proper way, it means that you are losing all these first impression, first of all. And if a company or a factory is not able to arrange the looking by locating the tubings and pipings and cables in the proper way on an RO system for home, it means that they are not able to do a high quality product neither, because it's like easier. So it's very important to have a good location of everything internally and to have a nice, beautiful looking.
Yeah, despite this is also endless discussion with the production, and in our opinion, and the team the team who makes these products, they always fight to make it beautiful, despite the fact that the filter would be finally installed somewhere in the kitchen, and maybe nobody would see it for the second time. But even though we do our best to make it nice, to make the tubes as you have described, everything should be precisely assembled, then this is, for me, it is the same. For me, it's a nicely assembled product is a symptom of a very good quality. So it means that inside, all the processes that you cannot see with your eye are also arranged in the right way. So I think we have now it's 1 p.m. almost. So Daniel, thank you very much for your opinion, for your discussion. I believe it was, for me, it was fruitful. Yeah, for me, it was very nice to hear your opinions, and we catch some new ideas and some new, I don't know, view on the same topic. If any questions left from the people who are staying with us, you may write now, or you may join our next talk, which I think would be most probably on the softeners equipment calculation. So this is also one of our favorite topics to talk on softeners.
So thank you from my side very much indeed, Rusty, for the invitation and everyone for being here, hearing us, etc. Well, the idea was to make it easy for everybody and to make it very, very understandable, and to mix a little bit some technical part and sales part together. But of course, on the following ones, we can focus a little. We can make them a little bit more focused on more technical or more sales argues to sell one or another different product. So I hope this is just the first seminar from many, and we can do them very, very often, and see you all guys again very, very soon.
Yeah, I wish you, Daniel, and also all the participants, nice end of Friday, end of week, nice weekends, and then see you next Friday. Bye.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.